And as you can see, I have no makeup on, no mascara, nothing, just bare face, no brows. So we're gonna start a little different this time. And I would like for you to consider maybe trying this as well the next time you do your makeup. It's a different way. It might be totally different. It might be something you're already doing. So let me know. Let me know down here. Is this something you're doing? Which is, do you apply your eye makeup first or do you apply your makeup first? So is it eye makeup or makeup first? Let me know down below. So today what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna start from our brows. We're gonna do mascara. We're gonna do our eyes and eyeliner. Then I'll put on my full face of 3D foundation. And what you're gonna find is when I go to do that, you may end up like me using a lot less of my makeup on my face because I've highlighted everything up here and I just don't notice a lot of anything else. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're gonna do, and we're gonna talk about our brows, okay? So let me grab some of my stuff. All right, if you need to take a look at your brows, get a mirror, get in there, and you need to look at your brows and decide when's the last time we did a little maintenance on those brows. And if it's been a while and they're looking they're looking like they've maybe been, hiking in the mountains for like 3 years and they need some help, then we need to do that. So a couple options. There's several options you can do. So you can do something as extreme as going in, it's not that extreme, but it's expensive, going in and having your eyebrows like either microbladed or tattooed. And I had that done a few years ago. I think it's been a couple years ago. A very soft brow, shadow brow, she called it. And you can see underneath, let me get in here. Can you see my brows? There's some color here underneath. It's lighter in the front and a little darker towards the back, like your natural brow would be. And that was done. And you do have to go back in for touch-ups because mine is already starting to wear off because it's a very light-handed type tattoo. So it's not like something. Now, microblading, it's where they go in and they actually cut little cuts and then fill in with like a tattoo type dye. So that's a little bit different. But either way, that's the high-end, most extreme side. The other way would be to go and have your brows waxed or threaded. And when I'm visiting my sister in Kansas, I always get them threaded. And usually there are places in the mall where they thread brows, and it's so amazing. It's like $15, and they actually use the thread, and they're able to get in much closer and do a shaping and tweezing basically, but they're threading and shaping and pulling out all that hair. So that is a really great option. If you have it, look it up because you're so lucky that you have it and you need to go and tell me that you went, okay? All right. Then the other way would be to shave them a little bit. Now, I'm not talking about shave your whole brows. No. But in between getting mine tweezed or waxed or whatever, which I never do unless I go back to Kansas. I got to find somebody who can do brow threading close to me. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take this is my little dermaplane that I use when I'm getting the hair off of my face. I use this, maybe a couple times a month where you go in and you want to lightly remove any dead skin and any peachy fuzz around here and wherever you have it. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll take one of these and very carefully, after you've already had them shaped and done, sometimes I'll either tweeze them, go in and tweeze them, or I'll get lazy and I'll just very carefully kind of clean up. Be very careful if you do this at the top of your brow here where it starts to grow. You want to put your finger here, and then you just want to have your finger almost like a blade guide. So you don't do what I did one year, which is slice up. Well, actually, it's this end here. I actually went down, and it took forever for this part of this hair to grow back because shaved it off. It was like lovely. But, and then another thing is if you don't have a lot of brow hair, is consider using a brow serum or even a lash serum, like the Lashify lash serum that I use. You can actually use it in your brows as well. It's not an overnight, just like the lashes, but eventually you will start to regrow and fill in hair, and then that's awesome. And then the fourth thing you could do, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, I don't know what I'm up to, is if you do have hair, is you can consider like having them tinted. Yes, the person who waxes or tweezes or threads your brows can also tint them for you, or you can look into tinting them yourself. And a lot of gals do that. You can YouTube that and you'd be surprised. And when I go to visit my sister, again, we always kind of dye and tint our brows. So it works great. And then it just makes them look a little bit darker, and then you don't have to add as much. All right, so there's that. All right, prep. Whew. Now let's get into actually what we're gonna do next. All right, so the first thing you wanna do, let me find my little brow note, is we want to first decide to fill them in and shape them, right? So we want to line them and shape them. A couple ways you can do that if you need to. And a lot of times if you have a really nice shaped brow, you don't need to do this. So you can do this either with a eyebrow pencil. Sometimes this is easier. If you have one, get yourself an eyebrow pencil. And how you want to determine like the shape of your brow and where to outline is, I'm going to show you with this. So you're going to take a brow pencil, place it against your nose, and go straight up. So it kind of lines up on the inside of your eye. Okay, and then you just want to make a little mark. I don't know if you can see my mark. You see that mark there? Okay, so right straight up, make a little mark, okay? Then you want to take that same and angle it across your pupil, okay? So I'm going, it's across my pupil, and this is going to help me find the natural point, or where I want the point to be. If you need to, just make yourself a mark. We can always wipe this off. That's what's so cool about what we're doing now, is that we can actually, we don't need to worry about messing up our makeup because we're starting with no makeup on. Okay, so there's another thing. And then the last thing is to take it and angle it towards the end of your eyelashes and then go straight up, and that should be like the natural end point of your brows. So just kind of find that spot and mark it. So, you know, here, here, and here. Okay, so once you have that, then you can do a couple different things. You can outline them if you need to. And what I like to do is you can either use a pencil, or you can even outline them with a nice angled brush, like this one is the liner brush. And you can outline them, we've talked about this, but we can take some setting spray and put a little in here. Dampen your brush so that it's just damp. We don't want it wet, and that was almost too much. So just kind of brush off any excess. And then you can take either, you know, your contour shade if it's the right shade for your brows, or you can find a matte eyeshadow shade that's the right shade for your brows. And so if I was gonna do it this way, I would take and just tap in a little bit of that color. And then I'm gonna get in here, I'm gonna grab my mirror. And actually, I'm just going to come in close. So hello. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to go from the bottom where that line was. I kind of got mine in a little bit, but we're going to take the angled brush, and you're going to go across all the way up to the point. So we're going across, across the brow. We're not going to line them. We're going across the brow up to the point. You see that? All right. So let me grab a little bit more color on that brush. I'm just tapping in again to the eyeshadow, adding a little bit more. Then you want to go from the point to the end. And one thing you want to consider when you're doing your brows, even if you are outlining them and you know how to do your brows, is just consider don't pulling your brows down like this, because our eyes are already starting to do this, right? So if we can kind of fake that out a little bit by taking it from the point, let me get in here so I can see, out here to the end. So here's my point, and I'm going to start lining along the top, and I'm going to aim towards that point, but instead of going down to the point, I'm actually just going to kind of trick it and have it just come out a bit. So let me add a little bit more. Don't feel like you can't go back in and add a bit more of your powder. And I'm just doing little tiny strokes as well, so it doesn't look like a really harsh line. There we go. Can you see that towards the end? And then I can just, you know, we're going to clean that up anyway, but we'll wipe off those little points. But we're coming out a bit, okay? So then, once you do that, then you can go in with your brush and turn it vertically, or if you're using a pencil, you can do the same thing. So I'll show you both. So I would probably start not right at the front, because I don't want that to be the darkest. I would probably start kind of back here a little bit and just do little strokes, and then turn the brush and come and do a little filling in. Again, little tiny strokes. So it's not really a lot of harsh lines. And then when I come back to the front, I don't have as much product on that brush. And then you're gonna stand back and you will determine how much or little you need. Go ahead and wipe off your marks carefully. And that is with mostly like a powder. So I gotta wipe my mark off here. And a lot of that's gonna get cleaned up when we do our makeup. Okay, so we can also take like this side of the brush, like a spoolie, and just lightly kind of brush those off, those little marks. Okay, and the marks could also have been made with the brush, also just coming up and down. Okay, so it still looks like I got a little mark, but I don't really. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is you would do the same thing on this side, but you could use a pencil doing the same concept with everything and then shape and outline. But I'm not gonna do it just because I wanna keep this not too long. So maybe this whole side of my face I won't even do, and we'll just see the difference, okay? All right, so now that we did that, we need to double check and make sure, do we need to fill them in anywhere? So if we do, you know, we were lining and kind of doing the little strokes, but do you see any other areas that maybe are a little patchy? Just go back in and just lightly fill those in, okay? And just determine how dark or how defined you want them to be. Okay, after that, we can set them, and we can set them a couple different ways. We can set them with a brow wax, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to use brow wax, or you can even set them with like a balm or a pomade, you know? So sometimes you might have an eyeliner brush that actually has like a brow pomade, which is either clear or colored to brush in to set them. But you know, we're all about this one palette, one compact makeup. So what we're gonna do is actually use some brow wax first. So I'm gonna show you that because I haven't shown that very often. So when you get brow wax, it's called brow soap or brow wax. It'll come, let me grab it out of the here so I can show you easier. It'll look like there's nothing in there, especially your brand new one. When you get it and you take the lid off, your brand new one will look super clear and like there's nothing in there, but it is. If you feel it, it's a hard thing of wax. So what you wanna do is take some setting spray and just spray a little bit on, and then take the spoolie end of a brush and just start rubbing that in to activate the wax, and you'll see it kind of start to activate. If you need more setting spray, you can, and you're just gonna coat this with the wax, coat the brush with the wax, and then very gently come over and I just brush the wax right into my brows. Not only does that help set them and shape, you know, where I want them, when I get to the end here, if I don't have a lot of hairs, I'll just press the wax over to help set some of that color I have. And, you know, you can have them go straight up and be very, you know, natural, or you can take that brush when you're done and just go over. So I'm just lightly brushing them more straight and finished off. So that's with the brow wax, and that'll help set your brow color throughout the day, whether you're using contour or a shadow or even, you know, a pencil. The other way you can do it is with a little bit of like a pomade as well. So this is the balm, the unscented balm. And so you could do the same thing. Sometimes I'll just kind of wiggle a little bit of this onto my brush, and I can do the same thing. So if you know, and if you just want a natural brow, you can actually, you have you know, really a lot of hair, a nice natural brow, you can actually just do that with the balm and just shape your brows just to give them some shape. Okay, so there we go. That really does help. If you define your brows first, it's going to frame your eyes and frame and set off your face like that. So any questions on that? Go ahead. You could be asking away here. Yeah? Okay. And I will answer them. I'll be typing live answering them as well. So I'll be able to catch up on those while we're doing the live. I'll be able to comment. So, okay, good. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is our mascara. I know it sounds weird. You would think you always do your mascara after your eyeshadow, and there's no right or wrong way, but give this a try. Here's why I do it this way. I always make a mess with my mascara because I love mascara and I am over the top with my mascara, meaning I put a lot of mascara on because mascara is my favorite thing. How many of you, come on, tell me, give me some hearts or tell me that mascara is your favorite. Okay, because mascara is like my ride or die. I have to have it on, and if I have it on, I always feel better. If that's all I do is maybe my brows and mascara, this is what I'm going to show you. It makes a huge difference. Okay, so we're going to do mascara next. The other reason why I do my mascara next is that since I love it so much, I make such a mess with it, is that I usually get it all over my lid, all underneath, and I mean, I get it on my nose, I get it everywhere. And when you do your mascara first, you have a chance then to clean it up with your makeup after. And also, if you do it first and your makeup after, you're not ruining your makeup. Because a lot of times you'll do your eyeshadow, and what's the first thing we do? We do a beautiful eyeshadow, we put our mascara on, and then we rub it. We hit it right there, and then we end up wiping and make a black swatch of it and all of that. And by the way, if you do make a mess, a little oopsie with your mascara, do not be tempted to rub it off immediately. It's so hard not to. Leave it alone and then go in with your spoolie, make sure it's clean spoolie, and just very gently kind of just rub it and it'll pop it off. Let it dry though first, and it'll just pop that messy mascara off, and it doesn't really mess your makeup up as well. So here's some things that we're going to talk about. So have you ever used a mascara comb? So if you find that you put your mascara on and they're always like crisscrossing this way and then they clump together, like I've got 3 clumps, is take a mascara, an eyelash comb, and I will list these, and just very carefully get down at the base and just comb through, because just like our hair, our hair gets really messy. So do our lashes. Sometimes they'll get crisscrossed or tangled. And so if you just go right in and very gently just comb through them, be very careful. But this is kind of curved, so you can really get there, and it kind of follows your lashes, the shape of your eyelashes and your eyelid. Okay, so invest in one of these. It's like $3. All right, I could afford that. All right, now the next thing, do you curl your lashes? So if your lashes go straight out and they're shorter, and you're like, I wish my lashes just looked like I had lashes, right? You can curl them. Now, sometimes you need to be careful if you have longer lashes and hooded eyes. You may not want to curl them really high, because then you end up transferring a lot. Your lashes are always hitting that area. And we'll talk about mascara and tubing and different kinds and priming, but do this next, okay? So I'm not a big fan of, we're going to go down at the base and then gently squeeze, kind of do a couple little pumps. Then you leave it in, but you're going to scooch a bit just towards the end, and then pump again. Make sure you have one that has if you have an old one, get a replacement for it. This section here, the little rubber that helps prevent it from, hurting your eyes or ripping them out, that needs to be replaced if it's really old. Go right down at the base. Be careful not to pinch your eyelid. And then once you get it comfortable, pump, 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 and then scooch up just a bit and then pump again. And so that'll help give your eyelashes a bit of a curl. And I know I've seen people like heat this, like get it hot and then do it. I'm just so afraid, because I know me, I'm dangerous with stuff like that. Dangerous. I mean, yeah. So I just use it like that. I figured that's enough. I don't need to, I'm not going to, but if you do it that way, let me know. Okay. All right. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do, sorry, I should have turned my notifications off, they were coming through, is we are going to talk about priming them. So there are eyelash primers out there that have kind of like a white tint that makes your eyelashes kind of almost like little white, not really fibery stuff, but it might have something in it that makes them, like you prime them and it makes them a little bit thicker before you even put your mascara on. And so I like to use an eyelash primer. The one I like it's a black one. It's a tinted primer, so it already has a little color to it. But this helps just to, for me, I'll go in and I'll just coat them, just a light coat, okay? Because then you can see already, by pre-combing and curling our lashes, they are just taking that so nicely. I like to use this on the bottom as well, but sometimes. But usually one of the tips I wanted to tell you, this should dry pretty quick. Let's let this dry. is to do your bottom lashes first, because look what happens. If you do mascara first and then your bottom lashes next, you usually are tipping down, right? Looking down, and a lot of times what happens is your lashes go up here and hit the top of your eyebrow, or not your eyebrow, but your actual brow bone, and that can make it kind of transfer. So a lot of times I'll just put just a little bit on the bottom. And to tell you the truth, the reason why I really like this tinted lash primer, and I'll list all these, this is the High Sky, it's a Maybelline one, tinted, is that sometimes that's all I'll put on my bottom lashes, or sometimes nothing at all. And I think that's just enough, just to give them just a little color, and then it just is nice, I think. Okay, so, all right, so mascara. This is my favorite mascara. I still go back to it. I love it. I also like the Sky High version of this primer. They also have a mascara, but this is the Too Faced Better Than Sex, and I just love this one. So how I like to, like I said, I usually do my bottom lashes first, and then one way to do your lashes to make them a little bit fuller and to even give the look of a kind of a tight line, which is when we're going to talk about that, was when you line your eyelashes underneath instead of on top. This gives you that look without taking up any real estate on the top of your lid. So if you have more hooded eyes and things like that, that really helps. So I like to take my eyeshadow brush, and I always start on the outside, and I go down. First, I place it down at the base of my lashes, and I wiggle that into the base of my lashes. So right now I'm just doing this wiggling. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, you see that? So as you can see, it already kind of tight lined the bottom of my lashes by doing that. So I'm wiggling, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then what I'll do is I'll go up, brush through, and then come in and wiggle maybe around the middle. You can rotate your brush instead of redipping it, just rotate it so that you're getting, more mascara. And then when I get to the inside here, I just take the end and I just lightly coat them. I don't wiggle at the base because I don't want the inside of my eye to be closed down by having like a lot of heavy mascara or liner at that inside. Okay, so one coat. If you like that, you can go back in and do, if you want more, go back in and do another coat. So again, wiggle at the base. Now, here's some ideas. So let's say you have more of, you want to create more of an almond shape eye. You want your eyes to maybe they're really close together, or they're smaller, and you want them to kind of look more out. Then you can take your brush and at the outside lashes and kind of pull them out that way. But if you already have more of an elongated eyes and they kind of pull down a bit, then don't do that and actually take and pull your lashes straight up. Okay, so that'll make your eyes look larger and more open to go straight up than out. Okay, that kind of helps change the shape of the eye a little bit with your mascara. All right, so we did that. Now, a lot of times we have trouble with our mascara not transferring even after we have done it first. Before we put our makeup on, it's giving it lots of time to cure, to dry. If that's the case, then you can find a tubing mascara. Now, a tubing mascara basically means it's a type of mascara that has a little plastic. It actually wraps colored plastic tubes around each lash. And what that does is that prevents a lot of transferring because the plastic coats the lash and holds it so it doesn't transfer. I've never had very much luck with tubing mascaras, but you can still use your favorite mascara if you have one that you really, really love. And then this is not a tubing mascara, but pretend like it was. And then after you put this on, then you can always go in and coat your regular mascara with a tubing mascara so that it does coat those lashes with that plastic tube around them to help prevent transfer. Okay, so if you have a favorite tubing mascara, please share it down below with all of us so that we can go check it out. Like I said, I've never really had any luck with them, but maybe I just haven't found the right one, right? Okay, so there we are. We've done our mascara. Yep. All right, so now we're going to go into our eyeshadows and eyeliner. Okay, so eyeliner. Now, if you can get away with, see how I had that up there and I just went to wipe it off? I just noticed that I had some mascara. I could have just taken that brush, and see how tempting it is to do that? Let's get in here and see if it's dried. Didn't do too bad this time. But if you, sorry, I got distracted there, squirrel. But yeah, okay, so now what we're gonna do is, if you like the look and want to line your eyes, consider trying first the wiggle method with your mascara, because like you say, this eye just on its own kind of looks like I have eyeliner on, doesn't it? Compared to, you know, obviously this side of my face I haven't done at all. But the other thing I want you to know, now that we're, you know, about 2/3 of the way through on our brows and eyes, is what do you think? I have no makeup on, no makeup at all, no color corrector, no makeup. My nose is all red, but I've done my brows and my eyes on this side, and I just feel like I don't notice a whole lot. If I'm focused on my eyes when I look at myself, and I'm not noticing, you know, all of this and this and this as much, because I'm kind of focusing up here. So see how that works when you do that first? Okay, so get back to eyeliners. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze, hang on. Sorry, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, I think I stopped it. All right, no I didn't. No I didn't. Oh, no I did. Hey God. Oh boy. Well, let's see how often has this happened and you sneeze and you get your wet mascara all over your makeup as well? Well, look at that. It pretty much had cured, and I didn't really get a whole lot even on my matte skin, so that's a good thing. All right. So what we're going to do is, okay, liner. Where's my notes on liner? So if you have hooded eyes, like I say, consider, you know, doing the mascara wiggle to kind of give a look of a tight line, but also consider tight lining anyway. And basically what that means is that you're taking like an eyeliner, whether you're making your own eyeliner or you actually are using like an eyeliner. This is one here. This is from, I got this. They sent me these. Maybelline sends me stuff all the time. This one here is called Color Tattoo, and the color is, because it's a brown, which I thought was kind of nice. It is Color Tattoo. I don't know what the color is. It looks brown because the lid is brown. So it's a brown. And so yeah, it's a brown. It's kind of a creamy stick, which is nice. So consider tight lining underneath. So what that means is you're going to come in, you're going to lift gently, and you're going to actually put your liner right at the base. So not in the waterline, not in that pinkish area where once you get it in there, that's your waterline. It's going to rub against your eyes, and you're going to get like little brown goopies on the inside of your eye throughout the day. Have you ever noticed that? Like your goobers are like colored with eyeliner and stuff. That's just icky. So we want to keep it right here at the base. So hang on, let me see if I can do this with my mirror. Sorry if this grosses you out. So you're wiggling in between those lashes. Okay, so let me get in here real quick. Be careful you don't poke your eye out. And you're wiggling and wiggling. So you're really just kind of wiggling it and kind of coating some eyeliner right at the base of those lashes. But look at that. Can you see how that already started to add some more, like almost the look of a liner? But guess what? It's not taking up any real estate on the top. It's all underneath. Okay, so that is, and that's one way to do that. You can also do that, the same thing, by like even with an eyeshadow that you wet. So you know, kind of like how we did our brows. You can wet a liner brush and get an eyeshadow color that you want. And the cool thing about this is that it can be any eyeshadow color. So it can be blue, it can be brown, it can be gray, it can be black, it can be purples, anything. And again, you're just gonna take that. I like to use the side of this line brush, and it would be the same thing where you would come in very carefully and you would just wiggle that color into the base of those lashes. Okay, so you can do it either way. So that's an option. Now, if this is something you're like, oh, no, my eyes are so sensitive. If I couldn't even come close to doing that. My eyes would start watering and I just am too afraid. I would poke my eye then, or I don't have hooded eyes. I have a little bit of lid space. So then you could just line across the top. Okay. So using an eyeliner, pencil. But the neat thing is, since we are all about our all-in-one makeup, is doing our eyeliner, creating our own, again, with different colored eyeshadows. Whether you want it to be more like a liner, like thinner. So again, just taking this same brush and dipping it into some setting spray. You can also use some of your balm and just kind of coat the brush with some balm, which is that sheer cream. And then you can tap in again to whatever color you want. And then you can line at the top. So then you're going to come down and get as close as you can to the base of your lashes. And now I can line with that brown color as a liner and bring it in. I like to bring my liner in about 2/3 of the way. I kind of stop where the color stops on the outside of my eye. If you like to go all the way around, you can. I'm not saying you can't do that. And then a lot of times I might put just a little in the outer corner, just a little. Right there, just to kind of line and define your eye. That could be any color, which is so cool. So you could look at your eyeshadows and decide, do I want to like match my liner to, like, if I'm doing like a plum eyeshadow look, and then I'm going to get like a really dark wine or plum eyeshadow and create my own liner to bring it all together. So you can do that, which is really neat, by using, you know, a little bit dampening your line brush, which is this one here, is the brush that you want to get if you're going to learn to do your brows, your eyes, your eyeliner, all of that. And then this shade here that I'm using is called Trust. Yes. And this is a brown, but there's so many different shades. So you need to kind of look at some of those, and I'll share all that in a resource. So I'm going to be creating a freebie for all of you. And all you have to do is just kind of stick around here and finish watching. And then I'll tell you how to get that freebie by commenting. I got to think of the word. We have to think of something that's not going to like send my freebie out to you. I don't know. I'll think of it. Okay. So line. But I'll be sending you out. Basically what I was talking about is I was going to send you out a resource that tells you everything that I did today, all of the products that I used, some how-tos, some suggestions. Also, I'll be sharing in that resource, that free resource, different eyeshadow colors that you can use for your brows, different contour colors you can use for your brows, and just a lot of great tips. So that is something that I will send out to you. And I think what we'll have you do is I'll probably have you comment the number 4B, the number 4 and B as in boy. So just put the 4 and a B right next to each other and comment that. All right, 4B. And then I'll send that out to you. It'll just go right out to you. And I'll remind you here at the end too. Okay, so what else about liner? I think that was pretty much it. So what do you think? I mean, let's put a little eyeshadow on, okay? So as you can see, I do have my eyeliner on first, which sometimes usually you do your eyeshadow before, but let me go ahead and grab my palette. And what I'm gonna do is pick up a little brush. Where are all my brushes? See, I had all my eyeshadow brushes out and nothing. So maybe what I'll do instead is I'm just gonna take my finger and tap into a little bit of my color corrector shade. And just kind of just use a little bit, and I'm gonna just kind of color correct my eyelid and prime that a bit. Just being very careful that I should have done this before I did my eyeliner, so don't do what I just did. But it's okay, all right. So I just kind of went in and just put a little primer, and then you want to set that. So if you're using an eyeshadow primer, like a little tube, which I don't know where mine is, prime your eyes before you do your liner and your eyeshadow. But since I like to use my actual highlight cream makeup shade to kind of color correct, then I use that, and then I'll take a little bit of translucent setting powder, and I'll just pick some up and then come in and just press it over that to help set that cream makeup so that my eyeshadow will now go on so nice and smooth, okay? So make sure you prime prime your eyelids. Okay, well, let's just do a quick one. Let me just grab a little bit. I think what I'll do is I'll just grab this color here. This is called Mama. Just gonna pick up a little bit. And again, I like to press my eyeshadows on. I'm gonna use this one as my lid shade. So I'm just pressing it on. This is a very light kind of mauve-y color. Oh, I got all sorts of eyeshadow colors in here. That's okay though, it's not mixing, which is nice. Okay, just a nice color on the lid, and then I'll take that same brush and go into a monochromatic. So this one's Lullaby, so they're in the same color family. One's lighter, one's darker. They're both matte. I'm gonna tip my head back, and I'm gonna tap into my crease and come across. Didn't know we were gonna do eyeshadow too. Neither did I. This one's gonna be a little bit longer, so I'll try to hurry. And then we'll just flick up, just blend a little bit of color there. And then if you even wanted to, for fun, you can take a shimmer shade. This one's called, I think, Drift or Sabrina. Either one of those are really pretty. And just come across right there in the center and just tap a little bit on just for a little pop of light. Really, really simple. So again, this whole side of my face is not done, no makeup except for the eyes and the brows. And this side, we haven't done anything. So real quick, if you want the resource for our mascara, brows, and eyeliner, make sure you comment 4B, just put the number 4 and the B right next to each other. Comment that and I'll get it sent out to you. And let me just get a little bit of makeup on. And look how little we're gonna use because I don't feel like I need a whole lot. I'll just take a little bit of my contour and I'll still put a little bit up. I'm just gonna do the one side. So please ask me any questions as I'm doing my makeup here and I will type them in for you and I'll answer them. I'm just gonna come in, put a little contour, maybe a little here, but not a lot. Let me look at my under eye area. It's not really bothering me as much. Come in maybe with a little bit of my color corrector on my nose and underneath my eye, my chin, where I'm red. And then I'll just take a little bit of my main shade and just tap over everything. Not really thinking too much about it. It's always hard to do half your face because you want to go back in and get everything, but I'm just tapping and pressing my main shade on. Definitely need to get my nose a little more with my color corrector, which is Mango. I really need to get my nose to not be so red. Just pounce, 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 pounce. I'm trying to go fast. And just carefully work around your eyes and your brows. It's not a big deal. You'll find that you will really use a lot less. And then maybe I want a little bit of a brightener and tap in and just tap, tap on my finger. Maybe just brighten a little bit right here on the inside. Maybe a little bit out here above my contour. Just a little brightening. Just down the side of my nose here. Okay, and lip and cheek. So this is the new, I'm going to show you this color. This is the Spellbound. This is this gorgeous Spellbound color. Look at this color. So let's just put a little bit on our cheeks. Look at this color. So just a little, but it's like this gorgeous plum. Look at how pretty this is. So I'm going to tap a little bit of that, add some color to my cheeks. So this one's one of the shades of the season called Spellbound, and we don't have very many of these pretty purpley plum shades, but maybe I'll put a little bit more on. You can even tap in with your brush after if you want to add a little bit more. So pretty. And put some on my lips. It is such a pretty color. Actually, I've been mixing it with Sunshine State. Just because Sunshine State is like a glossy and it has this really pretty shimmer. So I'll mix the two together. I think that's really fun on the lips. So I'll list all those out too in that resource that we're using. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so super simple. It looks weird with one side of my face not done, and I think I'm having a major hot flash because I feel all hot, but just easy. If you need to, then you're going to, spray your face with some setting spray. But even me right now, if I feel a little bit hot and sweaty or a little bright, just take like your perfector sponge or a powder brush, pick up a little bit of your translucent setting powder, and just tap in a few areas where I'm a little shiny today. And that just right there just even helps. Just a little, not a lot. Just a little bit right there, okay? And that's it. All right, so comment 4B, 4 and the letter B as in boy, together, 4B, and I will send you out that free resource. So it'll go right into your messaging, and I'll go over everything that we just did today and share that with you. I'll also put all that in the caption when we're done. Feel free, if you're catching this on the replay, to keep asking questions, because I will be answering them for you. I'll always come back and answer. And thank you. This was fun. So let me know. Tell me down below what your favorite tip was. Tell me what you are taking away, your favorite takeaway. What are you going to try? And if you have any questions, make sure you ask. All right. Thank you. Thanks, gals. I'm so glad you joined me. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you gals later. Bye. Well, hello. Today we are going to be talking all about brows, eyeliner, and mascara. Oh my. And as you can see, I have no makeup on, no mascara, nothing, just bare face, no brows. So we're going to start a little different this time. And I would like for you to consider maybe trying this as well the next time you do your makeup. It's a different way. It might be totally different. It might be something you're already doing. So let me know. Let me know down here. Is this something you're doing? Which is, do you apply your eye makeup first, or do you apply your makeup first? So is it eye makeup or makeup first? Let me know down below. So today, what we're going to do is we're actually going to start from our brows. We're going to do mascara. We're going to do our eyes and eyeliner. Then I'll put on my full face of 3D foundation. And what you're going to find is when I go to do that, you may end up, like me, using a lot less of my makeup on my face because I've highlighted everything up here and I just don't notice a lot of anything else. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're gonna do, and we're gonna talk about our brows, okay? So let me grab some of my stuff. All right, if you need to take a look at your brows, get a mirror, get in there, and you need to look at your brows and decide when's the last time we did a little maintenance on those brows. And if it's been a while and they're looking they're looking like they've maybe been, hiking in the mountains for like 3 years and they need some help, then we need to do that. So a couple options. There's several options you can do. So you can do something as extreme as going in, it's not that extreme, but it's expensive, going in and having your eyebrows like either microbladed or tattooed. And I had that done a few years ago. I think it's been a couple years ago. A very soft brow, shadow brow, she called it. And you can see underneath, let me get in here. Can you see my brows? There's some color here underneath. It's lighter in the front and a little darker towards the back, like your natural brow would be. And that was done. And you do have to go back in for touch-ups because mine is already starting to wear off because it's a very light-handed type tattoo. So it's not like something. Now, microblading, it's where they go in and they actually cut little cuts and then fill in with like a tattoo type dye. So that's a little bit different. But either way, that's the high-end, most extreme side. The other way would be to go and have your brows waxed or threaded. And when I'm visiting my sister in Kansas, I always get them threaded. And usually there are places in the mall where they thread brows, and it's so amazing. It's like $15, and they actually use the thread, and they're able to get in much closer and do a shaping and tweezing basically, but they're threading and shaping and pulling out all that hair. So that is a really great option. If you have it, look it up because you're so lucky that you have it and you need to go and tell me that you went, okay? All right. Then the other way would be to shave them a little bit. Now, I'm not talking about shave your whole brows. No. But in between getting